Morning. It is a rainy start to our Saturday with showers and storms out there and more moving in during the course of the day. So I want to show you what's happening now with the radar, where the severe weather is possible, and then what happens next. Right now, if you look live out there, you can see overcast skies, lots of rain running up and down the I-49 corridor. It's pretty much raining from Bella Vista all the way south through South Fort Smith, with some heavier pockets of showers and storms that are embedded within there. This is a look at the radar. What I wanted to show you here is, let me zoom out a little bit. You can see the line moving to the east. Really, the northern part of this is not has no severe potential. That's coming in towards Rogers, Bentonville, and Fayetteville. This is more of a heavy rainfall, occasional claps of thunder, but as far as the severe weather risk goes, it does not appear to be an issue for us. You start seeing a little bit of a severe risk closer towards the Fort Smith area. Here's where we are in Fort Smith now, and you can see that line to the west. Now, looking at the line out west, there's some stronger winds around Marble City. There's a little weak pocket of elevated rotation as well, right there around Sallisaw. The storms this morning are a bit more elevated, so we'll have a little bit of a tougher time turning to produce tornadoes, but the hail and the wind damage risk is still going to be there. You can see how that backside's kind of wrapping into it on the south side of the storm. So that's going to be one to keep an eye on as it tracks towards the south and to the southeast. And of course, we still have stuff ongoing right over Fort Smith. Matter of fact, let's go over to another radar source real quick and show you how that is tracking and trending. This is a look at about the last half hour or so. You can see the showers and storms that are moving into the area and that little line that's making its way in from out towards Sallisaw, moving along and south of Fort Smith. So I think Sallisaw gets some of these heavier winds that move through. Fort Smith is experiencing some of that right now. That's out ahead of the main line, actually, though. That's along Division Street, Kelly Highway, North O, Riverfront Drive, and North Albert Pike. It lets up a little bit out towards Kincaid, but that's going to fill in as well. So really, it's north of Free Ferry and northwest side of Fort Smith, just northeast of Garrison Avenue along Kelly Highway, and then Riverfront, where some of the heavier rain is right now. We also have some out there towards Dora. The main line is to the west. It's this area in Sallisaw with a very a very heavy area of rainfall east of Sallisaw. It looks like East McGee Drive, right along exit 311, and that's going to be out towards Baldbridge Mountain. Some of the other streets being affected by this going to be, well, East 1080 Road, if you know where that is. This is basically running just north of the interstate on I-49. And one more check and seeing if there's any kind of spinach going on inside this storm. Is anything spinning in this? Well, there's a little bit of weak rotation. I mentioned that earlier out towards Sallisaw, so that'll be something to keep an eye on. Overall, it's very broad, and hail may indeed be the biggest risk with these storms. Zooming on out, you can see where some of the hail could be occurring, and I've got some around Fort Smith, and we also have some that are occurring here in Sallisaw. Fort Smith, if we get hail, it's closer towards Dora, and then right now we're looking at it out towards Sallisaw, but it is tracking southeast. So Muldrow gets some hail, possibly even the north side of Fort Smith as that line moves through. So it is a pretty heavy line making its way in, and it's going to rain here for a while, probably the next several hours, and then we catch a little bit of a break late morning into the afternoon. Hour by hour, this is how it's going to play out. So this is the latest high-res data, looking at the storms moving through now, and then that tracks towards the east. This is coming up. That's noon, so we still have some rain that's out there, and then it starts to let up a little bit somewhere around 1 or 2. So I think there's a small break in the early afternoon without the rain, and then we get more storms start popping right around 5, 6 o'clock, and then we get another round of showers and storms that's going to develop later on tonight and move through. But certainly the heaviest round of rainfall is what's happening right now, at least for today. We do get more showers and storms for tonight and tomorrow, and that's when the severe weather threat and the flash flooding threat also goes up as well. So in the meantime, heads up on this. That's coming through Fort Smith. I know we're all a little bit skittish since we had that tornado that moved through recently. As of right now, this does not appear to show any kind of risk of any tornado threat. Checking it one more time here. Um, no, I do think there's some wind, though. There's a wind damage possibility out towards Gans, that's sweeping southeast. And there's also some hail that'll be possible with this. Looks like it's a little stronger out there to the west, out towards McAllister, than in the Fort Smith area. But again, the general track shows that moving southeast. So Fort Smith, plan on some wind and maybe even some rain. You'll get a whole mess of lightning with this moving through in about 30 minutes or so. Again, right now, some of the heaviest is falling along and south of I-40. That's going to be over Oak Park, Fort Lane, Riverfront Drive, North 6th Street, running north up towards Reed Lane and Homestead Terrace and Woodland Park, and then moving south, Northview, Aders Place, Wilma Avenue, and Fisher Avenue all experiencing some heavy rainfall. And there's more where that came from. So we already have the wet ground. This is going to add to it as this line makes its way in. Again, farther north, you're hearing the thunder. That thunder is going from Bella Vista to Bentonville and then out towards Rogers. But this is all disorganized. There's nothing up here at all that really catches my attention as far as severe weather goes, except for the folks at Bike Fest who are wondering why in the world they come here every Memorial Day and it storms, right? That's once again. But thankfully, this storm is nothing like the Memorial Day storm that we had last year. Got a couple of showers picking up around Fort Smith, and it looks like a few more that are out there around Paris that are moving on to the north. So showers and storms expected for today. The overall risk of severe weather is present. It's not super high. It's more of a wind damage and hail risk, but it is still May, and there's still that tornado threat with any of the storms that develop this time of year. I'll keep an eye on it, do some updates here and there. Plan on a rainy day inside through at least noon or 1, and then we may catch a break sometime late morning, early afternoon from northwest to southeast as that line makes its way on in. Hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. Try to stay dry out there, and you'll hear a lot of thunder out there. And check the radar frequently and have a way to get weather information. It does not look as severe or as strong and intense as what we had earlier this week. A lot more of a heavy rain and a lot of thunder than anything else. See you guys back here next time.